Da 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 da. Welcome back to Disenfranchised, the podcast where we look at Friends episodes and identify the disenfranchised grief. What is disenfranchised grief, you may be wondering? Well, it's the grief that comes without the casseroles. It's the grief that society expects us to just get over, and sometimes we just get stuck. So we're going to look at Friends Season 3, Episode 2, the one where no one's ready today. I'm Karen Bulinski Mathison, host of the disenFRIENDSchised podcast and creator and founder of the Naked Grief website, where I help people by coaching them through just regular grief as well as the bereavement side of things. Bereavement is for death. Grief is everything else that changes us. So, in this episode, it completely takes place in Monica and Rachel's apartment, and we have a few things going on. There's a big event. Ross is being honored for something at the museum, and it's a banquet, and everybody's dressed up. The guys are all going to wear tuxedos. It's black tie optional. It's pretty prestigious. And Ross enters, and no one's ready. Chandler and Joey are fighting over a chair because Chandler got up and lost his spot, and Joey refuses to give it back. We have Monica, who comes in right after work and needs to get changed. She listens to the messages, and Richard's on it. And she doesn't know if it's an old message or a new message. And because she misses him, she wants it to be new. She wants a reason to reach out. And all of the friends try and dissuade her, and she goes through and calls him anyway. So she spends the majority of the episode going back and forth with the older new, listen to what I said to him, all that drama. Phoebe comes in completely ready, dressed to the nines in this beautiful gown. And while Chandler and Joey are acting like children, going, not touching you, not touching you, some hummus that Joey's eating lands on Phoebe's dress. And now she's got a critical change to make. Does she change her dress completely? Does she dress it up with an accessory? She can't find anything between Monica and Rachel, so she comes out of Rachel's room with this ginormous Christmas decoration across her chest. Is it beautiful? No. Does it work? Heck yeah. And it's Phoebe, so of course she can play it off. In the meantime, though, Rachel is pretty much ready. She just has to decide on the outfit, and she keeps coming out with, do I wear this? Do I wear that? She finally is in a very attractive outfit, and then she's debating over shoes. And Ross, who is a nervous wreck anyway, starts to panic a little bit. He's probably one of the first times that we actually see him kind of lose his cool with Rachel. And he says, I don't care what you wear. And he takes her shoes and he throws them back into her room. And he's like, just get dressed. We need to go. And instead of getting dressed up, Rachel comes back out in a sweatshirt and sweatpants. And Ross is like, I know they said black tie optional, but I think this is pushing it. And she said, yeah, I'm not going to go. I'm going to follow up on my correspondence. And Ross is crushed. He's devastated. He recognizes that he made an error. He misstepped, misspoke, and hurt her feelings. So he starts to apologize. Meanwhile, let me pivot back a little bit. Beginning of the episode, there's some debate on something in the refrigerator. Joey's going through it, and he finds this thing, and it looks like cider, and he smells it, and he's like, it's not cider. And Chandler goes, no, taste it. Drink it. And Joey drinks it. And it's fat. And Joey identifies it, and Chandler says, yeah, I drank it a few minutes ago. So rather than stopping him, Chandler provokes, which might be the whole reason why the chair thing started. They were acting juvenile. But when Ross hurts Rachel, Joey says, drink the fat. And Rachel says, you know what? That sounds interesting. Go ahead. Drink the fat. And because Ross gets ready to drink the fat, Rachel changes her mind. She forgives him. She says, don't drink it. I'll get ready. And Rachel is ready. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Meanwhile, Monica comes out and she plays her message. And at the end of the message, she says, I'm breezy. And Joey points out that saying you're breezy negates being breezy. So Monica panics, but while she's listening to the other message, there's a woman on the phone that says, "Hola, I had a lot of fun yesterday or the other night. Let me know about the weekend." And Monica spirals. She panics. She's thinking, Richard's moved on. What I'm feeling, he's not feeling. That means that our relationship didn't matter to him. He's just moving through life now without me, and ouch. So Chandler starts with well, maybe it's his sister, maybe it's his daughter, and Monica goes, yeah, maybe it is Michelle, his daughter. So she calls Michelle. She hears Michelle answer the phone with Ola, and she goes, yeah, okay, it was Michelle, and she hangs up. Well, Michelle must have caller ID or something, because she calls back. And Phoebe answers, passes the phone over to Monica, and Monica kind of explains what happened. And we don't hear the whole conversation. We hear a little bit of, yeah, we really were a great couple, and some reminiscing parts. And then Monica kind of re-explaining what had happened. And she's like, no, Michelle, I'd really appreciate it if you just didn't share this with your dad. What do you mean you're not comfortable? And then you hear the phone click. And then Monica's in a panic. So Monica leaves another message for Richard. And this time, she's very vulnerable. She explains, I heard a message. I didn't know if it was old or new. I called you back. Michelle can explain the rest. And it doesn't end up on the message. It ends up as the outgoing message. So instead of hearing, hi, this is Richard, now people are hearing Monica explain to Richard what she did. Now, here's the good part. It's late. It's like 7:30 in the evening. They're getting ready to leave for an event. It's 7:30 in the evening. How many people call in the evening? Maybe not a lot. Maybe he does get a lot of calls. But, he's a doctor. He's older. Maybe only one or two people would have ever heard it. So she really doesn't have a true reason to completely panic, even though she does. But that's that vulnerability, right? So those are the big things going on. But let's talk about it in a little bit more detail. So Monica is experiencing the grief from the relationship. They were still very much in love. They broke up because Monica wanted kids. Richard was already a grandfather and didn't want to start over. So the reason why they didn't stay together wasn't for lack of love. It was for both of them wanting different things. And that just hits different. So anybody that's ever been in a relationship that ended because of having two different goals, or can relate to what Monica's experiencing. And that's true real grief. Having to get closure before you're ready is hard. Whether it's a breakup, sudden death, getting fired, you don't expect that. And when you're told this is your last day, this is your last moment in this environment, that's a hard pill to swallow. And it is true grief. It's something that we all handle different. Some of us know how to let it roll off our backs like a duck, and some of us cling to it and hold on to it and have difficulty moving through it. So then we have Chandler and Joey fighting over the chair. Furniture. It's kind of a haunting thing with these guys. So in this particular situation, it's not about the chair. It's about Chandler feeling invisible. He went to the bathroom and he came back expecting to have the seat that he was sitting in being available. And it wasn't. Joey was there. So now he is faced with, I want my chair back, and acting like a kid again. Not touching you, not touching you. And rather than honoring Chandler's spot, Joey, being Joey, says, no, dude, you got up. So while they're arguing, Phoebe, who is the first friend to show up to the apartment other than Ross that's ready to go, ends up wearing hummus because it flings out of Joey's hand when he hits Chandler's arm to push him away. And Phoebe's left having to change her wardrobe a little bit. And Chandler, at the end of the episode, is caught in the same predicament. He's in an environment where presumably it's kind of assigned seating. They have a table that is theirs. Chandler comes back to his chair and somebody's in it. And again, he feels invisible. Why does he feel invisible? He was 9 when his parents announced the divorce. They sent him to an all-boys boarding school for high school. Chandler felt very unseen. And when little things like somebody taking over a chair happen, it kind of wrecks him a little bit. And that is another part of true grief. It's not dealing with the past and forgetting about it and then it manifesting itself in a different way. So again, it's just a chair. But for Chandler, it was deeper. And I don't even think he recognized how deep it was. Rachel speaking up and holding her ground when Ross got mad about her not figuring out what she was going to wear. Kudos to her. But kudos to her for also pivoting, going, no, the fat sounds interesting. Not allowing him to drink it and recognizing that he was willing to shows that they had a pretty strong, stable relationship at that point. The friends do make it. Everything works out because it's a 22-minute episode and, you know, it's a sitcom. So, of course, it's all supposed to work out. And that's the beauty of their grief. It's grief that can be addressed, controlled, and fixed in 22 minutes. But the grief is still real. So, I'm Karen Bulinski Mathison signing off for this week. But next week, join me while we look at the jam plan in Season 3, Episode 3. When Monica learns how to embrace her grief and figure out a way to move forward without holding on forever to the heartache. Until then, da 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 da.